a groundbreaking deal in the making for more than 2 decades. The 5 countries bordering the Caspian Sea have finally agreed on its legal status and how to split it up. Leaders of Russia, Iran, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan signed a draft convention that paves the way for more exploration.
It is designed to resolve all problems relating to the rights and obligations of the riparian countries and will guarantee the security, stability and prosperity of the region as a whole.
The world's biggest enclosed body of water has oil reserves of nearly 50 billion barrels, more than the US or Nigeria, and contains more than 8 trillion cubic metres of natural gas. The Caspian is also home to many species of sturgeon, supplying about 90% of Russian caviar, with a kilogram bringing in up to $25,000. Whether the Caspian is in fact a sea or a lake was at the heart of talks. It will now be treated as both. Its surface water will be opened for common use, while the sea bed will be divided up like dry land.
Although we did not determine the borderlines in this convention, but we marked that the countries with coasts of particular significance should take a special position. That includes Iran.
Iran, however, is getting the smallest slice of the Caspian cake, but it could take advantage of new legal rules for joint energy projects with Azerbaijan. Turkmenistan might benefit from a concession that allows new underwater pipelines. The plan for a trans-Caspian pipeline had earlier been blocked by Russia, who saw it as a potential rival to its exports to Europe. But while it looks like Moscow is making concessions in energy, it's actually boosting its hold over the region. The deal bans the presence of any foreign military, in effect blocking NATO or China from using the sea and giving Russia full control. Moscow has used the Caspian to fire missiles into Syria and now plans to build a deep water port by 2025.
We need to take into consideration that the Caspian Sea is situated close to the trouble spots, zones of international terrorist activity. I mean the Middle East and Afghanistan.
The agreement isn't seen as any final solution, but seems to be a win-win for all parties. For some, in terms of energy, and for others, in military reach. Liz Maddock, TRT World.
Well, let's get more on this now from Oktay Tanrisever in Ankara. He's a professor at the Middle East Technical University and is an expert on the Caspian Sea region. Welcome to the program and thank you for your time. Firstly, we heard in that story some of the benefits that these 5 countries might gain from this agreement, but what more will they benefit? How can they benefit from this deal?
I think this is a potentially very important deal for the economies of the region as well as surrounding regions, because the existing stalemate over the status of the region, the Caspian, prevented the regional countries from developing various projects in the areas of energy, transportation, fishery, etc. And also the regional countries deprived themselves from the benefits of greater cooperation. This agreement will set the guidelines for resolving differences over their bilateral differences, and also enable regional countries as well as third countries to develop projects, various projects, pipeline projects, transportation projects, energy projects. So this new environment will attract more foreign direct investment to the region, and it will make Asia closer to Europe and Europe closer to Asia. In this sense, I mean, for a long time, these problems over the status of the Caspian prevented the process of globalization from flourishing, developing in the region. Now we will see more influences, more investments from the European part to the region, and China and other Asian countries. They will all invest in this region because the untapped resources in the region will be developed not only by the regional countries,
Yes.
but the neighboring countries as well.
And Professor, let's talk about the United States now, because for a long time sorry to interrupt you there, but for a long time it's been pushing for access to the Caspian Sea, something that Russia has rejected for a long time as well. Does this deal block out the US from accessing the Caspian Sea?
Yes, I mean, in the military sense, from geopolitical point of view, you are right, because one of the key tenets of this agreement is that non-littoral countries, any country other than the Caspian countries, is prevented from having any military presence in the region. So this includes all countries, including the United States. But this is not something new, because in the previous agreements, regional countries also agreed on that, and there was no discussion or any prospect for changing this. So it is not a big news. It is the most likely scenario. What was more important in this agreement is that regional countries agreed to develop their resources through cooperation, and this will enrich them, all of them. And United States and other countries around the globe, Japan, United Kingdom, Germany, Turkey,
Yes.
they will all benefit from this increased connectivity between Asia and
Professor,
Europe through the Caspian.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We will have to leave it there, but Professor Oktay Tanrisever in Ankara, thank you so much for your analysis.